Hello, this is Carolyn Muncie. We're live on the Prima page, and as you come on, I'm asking you to tell me you're on. Say, hey, I'm on. And I am doing a live every Friday night at 7, and here on the Prima Redesign with Prima, I guess I should say. And I hope you join in. And as you, like I said, as you come on, let me know that you're on. I see a few people starting to get on now. So, hey Terry. So, let me know you're here. And last week we talked about molds. The first week we did stencils. And the next week then we did molds. And this week we're going to talk about transfers. Now, Prima has a huge amount of transfers. You know, they've got all kinds of different ones. And you've got here, this is a zebra print. You've got just about anything you want. You've got, this is lavender bush. This is actually one of my favorite ones. And I want to show you, for those of you who are not familiar with the transfers, you get a little stick in here, and that's what you press on your transfers with. I think a lot of us are pretty familiar with them, and but there's always newbies that come on and they haven't really worked with them, and they're all excited to see what they are. I think, let me see if I can get this loose. I think it was an ingenious invention to put these. This is a transfer, and you can do it, you know, you can kind of see the transfer here, you know, and they come in sheets, you guys. So as you open this up, as you unroll this, and let me put you down a little bit where you can see what I'm doing. As you unroll this, you can kind of see all these pretties right here, right? And you want to make sure that you keep your pages together, because this is the backing, and when I take that backing off, you're going to have your transfer right there. So you kind of want to keep these to make sure you keep your white pages together. Hi Linda, how are you, sweetie? So glad you're joining. So I'm going to take this apart just so you can kind of see this transfer here. Am I holding it upside down? No, I got it. So you can see, you can put it on just like this, you guys. You can put it on just like this, or you can cut it into all kinds of pieces. And what that does is that gives you the ability to be able to design, let me get up here so you're not talking to my chest. But that gives you the ability to design what you want to design. And you know me, those of you who've ever followed my page, I'm Carolyn Muncie from Ransomed Relics. Those of you who follow my page, you know that I do a lot of hand painting. And I believe that these are absolutely fantastic. And they open up a whole new realm for everyone. Hi, Judy. So glad you're here from Rhode Island. I'm so glad you joined me. Let me know, you guys, as you're watching and where you're from. And so they come in these little sheets, which make them so versatile. Now, some of these sheets I have cut apart. And sometimes you say, well, you know, they're kind of, you know, expensive for me to buy. Well, the beauty of these, you guys, is that, you know, you might pay, maybe you get 2 or 3 transfers, but out of those 2 or 3 transfers like this, you're going to get normally at least 3 sheets, and some of them you get 6 sheets in. And so when you divide those up, you can tell that you can go a long way with one transfer, especially if you're using it, you know, to do, like, right here's a little jewelry chest, and I'll show you that. You know, so what I've done is I've hand painted the jewelry chest, and I'll bring that up close where you can see I didn't paint it just one color. Actually, I painted it at Terry's house, and I wanted to do kind of a plethora of colors so that my transfers would blend in, and you can see I'm letting them go on the top. I'm not done with this jewelry chest at all. Actually just started, and you can see I've got it there. Now, something that I did want to talk about. I think one of the things that we see, and you can kind of see that right now, is you see this halo effect when you put a transfer on. So you can kind of see that halo effect right there, right? So how do you get rid of that? There's a couple ways, and that's what I kind of want to talk to you tonight about, is some of the different ways that we can use our transfers and how we can make them individual to us. So all of us know that you've got these transfers and they're beautiful and they're gorgeous and you can put them on exactly like you get them in the mail. But then a lot of us, oh, hi, sweetie. And this is Forget Me Not. Isn't that Kim? I thought, I don't know. I think so. But anyway, so, you know, the beauty of it, you guys, is that we can make them individual to us. And to me, that's what's important. So you can see that halo effect. So I want to show you. This is just a little bitty pad. Okay, that's who I thought it was. Hey, Kim. There's this little pad, and it's actually from Dixie Belle, and it's just called a little finishing pad. It doesn't have, you can use anything you want. You can use a high-grade sandpaper, and when I say high grade, I'm talking probably over 300 as far as the grit is concerned. You can use even a paper sack, you guys. There is grit on the brown paper sacks that you get from the grocery store. Hey, Marlene, how are you, sweetie? You can even use those. Anything that's going to give you a little bit of grit. And I want you to see, and I'm left-handed, you guys, so I'm trying to get it up here. I can take this and I can gently rub that along here, and I'm going to get rid of that halo. Now, this is a light color transfer. So you can see that. I can just kind of rub it pretty gently, but yet at the same time, if you just kind of keep rubbing it, especially on your light colors, you're going to get rid of the majority of that. And let me work up here on it. So I'm trying to see. So you can just see, I rubbed that a little bit and that halo ended. I think for me, and I'm sure some of you feel the same way, is that I don't want that halo effect on there. And I can pretty much get rid of it just by this little bitty finishing pad. And then some people say that whenever you put the satin over it, or you're finishing, you know, your top coat, that helps to get rid of pretty much the rest of it. And so you can just kind of see right there, we have gotten rid of the majority. Let me sand down here because I see a little bit of halo down here. And I'm just lightly pressing that, and I'm getting rid of this halo effect. So that's number one way, right? But what happens when you have a transfer on a dark color? Right here, I've got another one of my little plywood pieces. This is just a practice piece, and I've already put a transfer on here. This is a little transfer that I've put on. And still one of these sanding pads. Oh, I've got a few. So come on over, Terry. And so this had the halo effect all around it, and I want to get you guys up close and personal. So let's say you're doing a black piece, or you're doing a dark navy blue piece, or you're doing something dark burgundy, something really, really dark. What happens then is you're going to have halos all over your dark piece, and we don't want that, right? We don't want the halo. So how did I get rid of this halo? Okay, there's a couple ways that we can get rid of the halo. You can sand it down, but as you know, when you sand on it with the finishing pad, you can start with that, and I'm going to add a transfer so I can show you. But what I did with this is, because I painted this in Prima's Impasto paint, and I absolutely love this paint, you guys. I mean, I really do. So I painted it in pitch black, And then once I got my transfer on there, then I went back and I just did the pitch black with a little bitty finishing thing and just went right around this, and you can kind of see the halo is gone. So that's one way of getting rid of your halos. So let's do one. Maybe, so see, you can see I've cut this up, right? And so I can lay these down. I can cut this one up further. This one is kind of a bigger one. And I can go ahead and I can cut these up. You know, I've got some of these already cut up. I can lay me out a pattern, you guys. I don't have to do it the way that I get it in the mail. I can make my own bouquet on anything that I want. And that really, hi Lily, how are you? So glad you joined me. So I can do that on any piece that I want. And that makes your transfers go so far, you guys. And that is really, really awesome. We're gonna do quite a few little stuff here. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add this little transfer here. And what you do is you just take it and you can kind of see the backing here is sticky. That is sticky right there. And so I'm gonna lay this where I want it to go, because I'm just gonna kind of build my own self a little pattern here. And let's just pretend, like we did last week with the molds, that this is a panel on your piece of furniture, and you're trying to build a hand-painted look to your furniture. And that's what these beautiful transfers are so good. And they really are beautiful, you guys. They really, really, really are beautiful. So this is a little tool that you can buy from Prima, and it's really pretty inexpensive. I want to say it's under $4. And it definitely is worth it. Even though you get the little stick with it, I prefer this little tool because I feel like I can press down harder with it. And you just keep pressing and you'll kind of see it as it transfers, because down here it's going to kind of turn a little white or clear. So let's see if we've got that rubbed on good enough, if I can get it up. All right. So I'm just slowly lifting that, and I want to show you the, all right. So I want to show you, and then you just want to lightly go over it like this. And just make sure that it's adhered down really well. And I'm going to show you, can you see this halo effect here? So now some people that doesn't bother. For me, that bothers me. And so I'm not going to allow a piece to go out of my studio as far as I can help it that isn't to my standards. So I want to kind of get you guys down here and personal so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So there you go. You guys are pretty close, aren't you? Okay, so let's take this little finishing pad. Now on a dark surface, what this finishing pad is going to do is it is going to leave a little bit, you can kind of see that right there. It's going to lighten that up a little bit because it has a little bit of abrasiveness to it. But that's okay. All I want to do is I want to make this more flush with my piece. And some people come in and just really sand this until it looks very, very, very aged and distressed, and that's beautiful too. There's so many things, you guys, you can do with transfers. And I'm going to show you another thing on a light piece, and you can do this too on a dark piece, but I just thought I would show you a light piece and a dark piece because there's different things that you have to work with as you do both. And those of you who are old transfer buddies that have done it for a long time, you know, to you this feels elementary, but for those who are just starting, you know, this is valuable information, I hope. Okay, so you can just kind of see if I went ahead and I top coated that, some of that would go away, but not all of it, you guys. And so to me, and you can kind of see that little sanding pad lifted that a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to go with the paint that I used down here. So whatever paint you're using, whether it's Dixie Belle, Wise Owl, whatever paint that you're using here, you can go on in. Let me get a stiffer little brush. I thought I had it here. And I'm going to go on in. I'm going to mist my paint just a little bit to give it a little bit of run. And like I said, this is the Impasto paint that I have from Prima. And I'm just going to come in around these edges. I don't even have to get really, really close. I can just come in around these edges and paint the exact same color that my piece is. And for me, that is a better option for me than to allow this to go out of my studio. And I'll just kind of, you know, add that in where it's a little lighter. And I love the transfers, you guys. I love to use transfers actually even on the inside of doors. I like to use transfers. You can use transfers on fabric. You can use these transfers on just about any surface that there is. If you're going to use it on a slick surface, let me turn this around, I'm left-handed. If you're going to use it on a slick surface, of course I use Dixie Belle products, so I would use Slick Stick, paint it the color of my choice, and see even down here I can see a little bit. And I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to paint this and just kind of fan it out a little bit. And as that dries, you won't see any of that halo effect. And for some of you, maybe it doesn't bother you, you know, and you just say, well, that's part of the transfer and I'm good with that. And that's fine too. I just am a little, probably a little, finicky when it comes to my pieces. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to just kind of carry this out a little bit so that as it dries, you know, you're not going to see it. And you can layer all kinds of different transfers together. You can layer them. You can do something like the zebra print underneath and then maybe do a beautiful, you know, floral or something on top. You know, they've got so many awesome stencils and transfers. We did stencils the first week. You can put your stencils down and then you can put a transfer over your stencils, and just anywhere that meets, I want to just come in here with a little bit of the pitch black, you know. So if you're using whatever paint you're using, that's what you do. You just go in there, and as that dries, that's all going to disappear. It just will all disappear and it'll mold right into where you're going. And so let's say you get that done. There's a little spot right there. So anyhow, as that dries, you can already see it's drying right through here, and you can barely see any of those edges at all. So this is a good way to take away your halo effect, right? So I'm going to take this so you guys can see that. So you can see this is a dark surface. Now let's move on to a light surface. I've got another one painted, and so here we've got, I think this is tea rose mixture, and I did want to show you this. Let me grab another, and I'll have to dry it with my blow dryer, but I'm a big proponent of, especially if I'm doing a panel, I normally don't want my panel to be straight. I normally want to blend colors in here. And I've got my base color in there. And I'm just going to blend a little bit of colors through here. Let me get my, there's my water. So I'm just going to mist that. Let me get a bigger brush, it'll go faster. Okay, and then I'm just going to blend these colors together. And I'm going to make me a surface that's nice. And I don't worry too much about what's going where unless, you know, unless I've got like a pattern in my mind and I kind of know where I want the greens or I want whatever it is that I'm wanting on it. But I want to make me a nice background here. To me, backgrounds are foundational. And like I say all the time when I'm talking about backgrounds, you create a mood by your background. It's like turning on music. Music sets a mood. Now, if you want a piece to be moody, you might want to go with darker colors. You want it to look springy. You know, if you want it, this one is kind of almost coming out. You guys can see it's almost coming out. Hopefully you guys can see. Let me put this down. You know, I want to create, maybe I want to put a little bit of green down here and create a little bit of variance. And I like kind of in the corners sometimes to go a little darker and work my way up. But you can see I'm just doing this pretty fast, pretty easy, and I'm not really that worried about what's going to transpire. And the reason why is because I know that as I put my transfer over this, it's just going to blend in there and look really, really pretty. I cut thumbprints on there. And you might want to look at your background and you might want to say, well, you know, maybe that green needs to be a little darker right there. You know, whatever floats your boat. You know, I think maybe I might want to put a little more green over here. So I'm just creating this nice background for my transfer to go on. And if all works out right, you're going to see how that transfer just kind of melds into what you're doing. And it adds more interest, you guys. It just adds a whole bunch more interest. Maybe I want to have that a little bit lighter through here. You say, well, how in the world do I know what to paint? You know, lighter and darker, and just get something that you say, oh, I kind of like that. I kind of like this. So, and I knew that my transfer had some yellow in it. Just look at the colors in your transfer. And then I'm going to place this transfer right around here. And you can tell whenever I cut this out, you've got this big hole. Now, you guys, if you want to leave a a comment, leave a comment. I always go back. I always answer your questions. If you've got a question, please ask it. There are no dumb questions. You want to make sure your surface is very dry. So I'm going to hit this with my blow dryer. And I've got a little bitty thumbprints right here. I want to make sure that my background is good. All right. So I think that's pretty dry. That goes a little wet there. All right, so we've got this, and I picked out this transfer, and I think I like the light. Can you see how the light of my background, let me scoot you guys back just a tad. Can you see how the light of my background is? This is going to just go beautiful on there, I think. And I think it'll add. So there again, I'm peeling off the back. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna lay this transfer. I mean, I can lay it any way I want. I can lay it that way, that way, that way. You know, I can lay it any way I want, but I think I want this rose kind of pointing toward this light area here. And then I'm just going to rub this until I transfer this all on. So now we've got not just a solid background. So you say, how in the world can you paint in those halo effects? Well, let's see what we can do here. Let me get this on here. And these are so wonderful to work with, you guys. I remember the first time I worked with them, I was going, oh my goodness, this is so easy and so nice and so quick. You know, because when you hand paint, sometimes it's not quite as quick as these are. But that's okay too, because, you know, I love to hand paint. So that's fun for me. And let me see. Hi there. And you get, let's see. You get eye cloudy like that. Pounce it. Let's see, I'm not sure what you're saying, Tina. Hey, Joni, how are you, sweetie? So we're gonna rub this feller on. See where we're at. Now there, we're not rubbed on at all. And you say, well, what if I rub something on and it stays on my paper? Well, what you can do is you can just come back here and just keep rubbing until it releases. And once in a while, I have come across one that no matter how much I rubbed, it did not release. And this is an older one, so I'm hoping that's not going to be my situation here. But I'll show you how I fix it, even if it is. Everything is fixable, you guys. Everything. And this is not wanting to rub on. Oh, wait a minute, there it goes. Sometimes if you can catch a little bit of air underneath, I don't know if you guys can see that, but you catch just a little bit of air underneath that, sometimes that helps that transfer to transfer. Let's see. And sometimes you just need to keep rubbing it. And you can put quite a bit of pressure on it. You're not going to hurt it. Actually, sometimes you have to. And some of this might not transfer. I don't know. If I can get the lid up, or the lip up. Let's try up here. Let me see. Good gravy. All right. So, this is having a hard time transferring it, and I think the reason might be because I have had it out. I've had this for a while. I mean, I've probably had this for months, honestly, and it hasn't been in its container. It's kind of been out, so we'll see. I might have to go to another piece, you guys. Don't you love lives? Because if you're not live, it would work perfectly. But because you're live, it's going to say, no, I want to be difficult. They're not really difficult, honestly. All right. And it's okay for me if some of mine do not transfer. Sometimes I think that adds, honestly, to a little bit of a nice look as you're working with it. And as you can see, that wasn't transferring, so I just go back in and I just rub a little more. There we go. There it went. So, when you're working with lighter pieces, you're not going to have to worry as much about the halo effect. You can kind of see that halo effect really isn't that big of a deal on this one. But you can still come in and you just want to lightly go through here and press that down before you get too far in. And if a little bit of it comes up, it's okay, because it just kind of gives it that rustic look. So I'm just going to go around here, and you can kind of see when it's light like this, the halo effect just isn't all that bad, you know, and you can just work with it, especially on your lighter colors. Okay, so we got that laid down. Let's look and see what else we have here. Because you've got, so don't lay it down until you're ready and you know that that's where you want it. Because if I tried to pull that up right now, it would pull my transfer up. But I had it where I wanted it, so that was okay. So you can just kind of see that you can build whatever you want to build. One of the greatest things that I think about these transfers is that they are wonderful tools. Maybe you go, Carolyn, I don't hand paint like you do. I can't do what you do. So this is a great way of making me feel like an artist. Absolutely, you guys. And you know what? You can make this exactly how you want it to be. And that's what I always say. They're tools for us to use. They're not to put us in a box and say, well, this is the only thing you can do with it. No, they're tools, and that's what Prima wants. Prima wants your creativity and your individuality to come out in these products. That's what they want to see happen. So we're just going to lift this up here. And you can kind of see now all of a sudden that hole is gone. So my next thing that I want to show you is how do you make these Prima transfers your own. So you make them your own by, number one, cutting them apart, doing different levels of do your own creativity, what you see in your mind. You can put them as one unit, and they look beautiful, you guys. They look gorgeous. You know, no one can say anything about them because they're just beautiful. But what if, let's say you've got this piece, and you can kind of see my background is melding in with this piece. So what do you do when you've got this done and you just say, well, you know, I would really, really like it to look a little more hand painted. I want to integrate into this my own thing. So all you do is, I got some paint out here. I've got some pinks. I'm using the Impasto Paints here, and I'm trying to look. I think it's lemon yellow. I don't quite see it right here. I've got blues. I've got browns. This is the black. So let's say I want to come in here and I want to say, well, on my piece, there's just this lighter yellow that I would like to mimic. And so you come in here and you just, let's see what we do here. So let's say we want this to come out, stand out a little more. We want to do maybe some edges here to make our rose feel like it's more hand painted. So we can come in here with a darker color. And we can just come in here and layer some things on here, you guys. Make it look hand painted. Just come and you're just kind of following what Prima has already done for us. Let's see, I don't have any white right here with me, but if you had white, you could come in. Let me look right here. This isn't white, but let me see if I can get this open. So you look already, you can kind of see that's just bringing it up a little level. Okay, maybe you want that to come down like this, and this to go over here, and maybe you want this to come up here a little more. You know, you're still playing with that transfer, but you're making that transfer be what you want it to be. Hi, Sally, how are you? And let's see who else we got on here. So can you guys see how even by adding just that little bit, you know, that is causing this rose to come to life. You know, it's causing it to feel just a little more hand painted, a little more individualized, and you're still following, you know, your pattern here. Let me wash out my thing. So we come down here to the leaves. So I'm going to come in here and just use the whatever paint that you're using. This is Dixie Belle Farmhouse Green. So I've got this little leaf here. So let's say I want to make that look more, you know, I want to bring that down a little bit, and I just want to come over here and I want to do some things that's just going to add to this beautiful transfer. You are not in a box, you guys, and your creativity is your creativity. So I'm really liking, I think this is Holy Guacamole and colored greens, and it goes perfectly with these transfers. And I'm just going to go around here. Maybe I want to have a leaf coming out here, and I'm just going to come into a few of these colors, and I'm just going to put me a leaf in there. And already you can start seeing what I'm doing here. And maybe this is going to go, maybe this is going to go more detailed, just like that. So these are your canvases, guys, and you make them come alive, even though they're gorgeous by themselves. You know, you might want, maybe you might want to add a little dark right in here. And then come back in here with a little pink, and let's bring these leaves out a little bit. I get so excited whenever I can take these tools and I can make them my own, and I can do what in my heart, you know, it just, you know, you can kind of see it just, and let's say a part of your transfer doesn't transfer. It's okay. Just go back in, paint over it, make it yours. Make these things. Maybe you want to come up here and you want to add a little bit of a, let me get my water spray. Maybe we want to add, let me put a little bit of green in here, maybe a little bit of this. Maybe we want to add a little bit of a dark, and see, now we've already got our background, but maybe we want to just change this background. Use your fingers. Move this paint around. Make this yours. I know I keep saying that, but it's, to me, it just is so important as a designer, you know, that we come in and we put our little 2 cents in, and we make this look just like, almost like a hand-painted canvas. That would be fun, huh? And you can do whatever you want to do. And maybe you want to come in here and you want to add a leaf coming out here, or maybe you want to add maybe a leaf, you know, a little bit of a stem coming out here. And then maybe you want to add a little bit of a bud up here. You just come in. Doesn't have to be perfect, you guys, because in nature they're not perfect, are they? And so you come in here and you made you a little bud right there. This side's not very strong, so let's make that a little stronger. And you've got a little bit of this yellow coming here, which is in your transfer here, and maybe we want that to fade out a little bit. Just touch it, let it fade out a little bit. Maybe you want to come in here and make these leaves shine. So here you've taken the bases of a transfer, and you might want to come right in here, and maybe you want this leaf to have just a little more green and to come back down into here. It's just beautiful, you guys. All the tools that we've been given today, isn't it? I mean, I know the difference. I've only been in this 3 years, and I can tell a difference of all the tools that we had. Remember when it was just white furniture and that's all you could paint and sell was white furniture? Now people, they're seeing these beautiful pieces that can be brought into their homes, and they're loving it. And I love white furniture, don't get me wrong, but I also love color. So, maybe up here you want to come in and you say, well, maybe I want a couple of these leaves coming, these little stem things coming. And all I'm doing, you guys, is I'm taking my brush and I'm just turning it. I'm letting this do whatever it wants to do. And you say, well, that looks kind of messy. Well, but it looks kind of pretty too, right? You can do whatever you want to do. So these are my ideas of bringing these transfers. Not only are they beautiful the way they are, but it's also beautiful just to add just a little bit of stroke value to them and make them look, and you can even follow the colors that Prima has set here because they're just absolutely beautiful. I mean, you can't go wrong, right? Because they're beautiful. Maybe you've got a certain color in your piece and you've got the perfect transfer, but it just doesn't have that exact color. Maybe you've got something and it, like all of this is the beautiful yellows and light pinks, but maybe you've got some fuchsia, or darker pinks. Come in here and just start adding you some little darker pinks and, on certain areas. And then that's just going to mold in to the look of your piece. And it's going to make this feel like it matches your piece. These are just examples, you guys. I mean, there might be a plethora of things you can do, but, or colors you could use. I'm just kind of going with this. And use your finger and move your paint around a little bit. This is just paint. So let's say you mess up and you go, oh my goodness, I don't want that pink there. It's not looking really right. Okay, so go in and let's get a paler yellow. And let's just come in here and let's just kind of take that out. Maybe soften that a little bit. And so you've came right in here and you have made this into yours. It's just like the stencils. I don't know how many of you saw that live. They're on my page. If you haven't liked my page, Ransomed Relics, hop on over there and you can see what I'm into and what I'm doing on my page and some of the pieces that I've done. Like my page, follow it. That always helps me. And you can just kind of see. So we've made this whole panel into almost looking like a hand-painted thing. Hey Roz, how are you? This is part of Ruby Rose, yes. So, I am into taking everything that we can and translating it into our own use. And you can just kind of see just by doing a little bit of that. And all I'm doing is I'm following the color schemes that are in this whole transfer. And if you looked at this from the beginning, you can kind of see already what I've done with this, and that would be perfect. That would be beautiful, don't you think, on a panel? And you can do that with any of them. This one is real. This is the Ruby Rose right here. So let's open that up. And it's fun, you guys, because a lot of people, you know, are saying, well, if I buy a transfer, it's only going to go on one piece. Well, that's not true. Like I said, see, look, in this Ruby Rose transfer, you have got, this is stuck. This tape is stuck. Now let me get this loose. So look, you've got this piece, and look how many flowers are on this, you guys. Look how many. I mean, just look at that. You know, so you could do this. You could do a piece or two with just one. I mean, you don't have to put a ton of flowers on everything. You know, yes, so here's our ruby red right here. This is what it started out like, and this is what we've hand painted it to kind of look like. And you know, you can keep working with it, and you keep just working with it and making it your own. The next thing that I want to do, and I think we're just about out of time, but let's say you're doing a piece, and you guys know I absolutely love this is your wax. This is your Cricara. Is that how you say that, Roz? This is Peacock. It's a blue. You've got vintage gold. You've got, this is your Decor Wax. I love the Decor Waxes. This is almost like a bronze color. I love this one. And it's called Diamond Dust. And it's just absolutely beautiful. But let's say your piece has some gold in it. And you're going, well, you know, I love the transfer, but I've really got some gold in there. So take a little artist brush. Just go into this, and this is Decor Wax Eternal. It's probably my favorite. And you can come in here and you can just add you a little gold. You know, maybe there's gold on this leaf or on this stem coming here. And it's kind of hard to translate gold, you guys, the shininess and stuff on the camera. You guys probably won't be able to see it. Maybe we have some gold coming out here, and then you just rub it a little bit, shine it right up. You know, this gold can be used for anything. Maybe you want a little gold on your petals, you know. You can put it anywhere. Maybe you want a little gold down in this cluster just to kind of give it a little bit of shininess when the light hits it. You know, there are just so many. You can use the colors in here. You can go through and use your eternal color, you know, any color that, this is a pretty color, which this doesn't go on this palette. But look at the vividness, you guys. And this is Decor Wax, and it's called Gravity. Look at the color of that. I mean, it doesn't go with this, but let's just put this on here so you guys can see. So let's say you're doing a navy piece, or you know, where you've got a lot of royal blue or cobalt blue or something like that, and you can go in and you can just add some of that, this Decor Wax, and just bring things up a notch. That's this Decor Wax. I'm telling you, absolutely love it. You know, my fingers normally are filled with gold. So there we have it, you guys. There we have it. Let me turn this up a little bit so you can just kind of see what we did. If you've got questions, please give me the questions. I'm going to go back and I will answer every single comment that you guys did. And so you can just kind of see we made that our own, you all. And you could add, you could paint, if you wanted to, you could paint a bird or a butterfly, or you know, guys know me. I love nests, you know. I'm into this nest thing right now. I don't know why, but I love nests and birds and florals and greenery and rabbits and, you know, just, you know, there is no limit to what you can do with these products. There's no limit, you guys. except your own limits you put on yourself. So go in there and experience it. You know, go in and experiment and find out some of the things you guys can do, because you are going to absolutely go, I can't believe I did that. And it's you. It's what you did. And let that inner artist within you be released, and try some things you've never tried before. And use the tools Prima has given you, and whatever paint company that you're with. Use those tools, experiment, bring yourself to a higher level. And I just think it's fun. You know, I think it's so fun. Okay, so Sharon says how to order the Decor Waxes. Well, normally I always say if you can find a retailer near you, and Roz, maybe you can help answer that question. I know that you can order them also off of Amazon, but I'm a kind of girl that I like to support my local artists. So if you've got someone in your town or near you, I'm sure you can buy it and they'll ship it right to you, or you can go on Amazon and find them. And they're an awesome investment. The transfers are an awesome investment, you guys, and they take your pieces up a notch. And that's where we want our pieces. We want our pieces to look great. Let's see, I'm afraid I'll mess it up, that it goes to waste. No, you won't, Susan. These are fantastic. There are no mistakes, Susan. There aren't. You know why? Because it's all paint and you can fix it. Let's say some of this doesn't transfer. What do? Sometimes it just looks gorgeous that way. It gives it that old world kind of faded look, you know, and you just kind of rub it a little bit with a little bit of high grit sandpaper, and it looks burnished and it looks old and it looks lovely. So you cannot mess it up. You just can't, you know, and you can just kind of see. You can't mess it up. You know, you just go back with your paint and you fix it. So it's kind of like Bob Ross said, happy accidents, right? Happy little trees. You know, they just kind of look like they were a mess, but you know what? You just go in and you make them work. So anyway, this is what we've got, and we did this in really, really quick time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Share this video if you wouldn't mind. Like my page, Ransomed Relics. And you guys, let's use our Prima products and let's make them work for us, because that's what they want. They want us to release that inner artist within us and come up with designs. So anyway, you can go online and you can look at all their products. If I'm not mistaken, I think Prima is going to have a new release here in May. And they are going to be releasing some beautiful transfers, new transfers. And I think in June, there's going to be some new molds. So you guys be looking for those new things. And I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, share it. Like my page, Ransomed Relics. And I will see you next week. What are we going to get into next week? I have no idea. But you know what? We'll do something fun and we'll do something creative. So you come back here 7 o'clock Friday night, and I'm not for sure what date that is. Probably, Roz, what is it? Maybe the 26th, maybe? So anyway, that's next Friday night, same time, same station, same place, same person. I'm going to be here with you, and we will see what else we can create. So you guys have a blessed night, and I hope you're staying safe. This is going to be over soon, you guys. It will. So this too shall pass. So I will talk to you later, and you have a fun week creating until we meet again next week. God bless you.